All men should watch this video. How to know what women want. Her feelings don't matter. Old Stoic Wisdom. Don't waste your time with explanations. People only hear what they want to hear. Paulo Coelho. You've been sold a comforting illusion. Since boyhood, you've been told to listen to her words, empathize with her feelings, and always be the understanding man. But the uncomfortable truth most men never learn is this. Her feelings aren't the map. They're the weather. Fleeting, shifting, often misleading. And if you try to navigate by them, you'll lose your way. Because what a woman truly wants, she won't say outright. She'll show it through instinct, emotion, and energy, but rarely through clear language. She might say she wants kindness, yet be drawn to confidence that never asks for approval. She might preach communication, yet fall silent the moment you open up too much. She might claim to value honesty, but retreat when you expose your insecurities. So what is it she's really seeking? Presence, strength, direction. She wants to feel a man who holds steady in chaos, who doesn't yield at the first sign of discomfort, one who leads, not out of arrogance, but grounded certainty, one who observes with focus, not just listens with sympathy. This isn't manipulation. It's not a game. It's about reconnecting with a deeper masculine truth, one ancient, often forgotten, but deeply respected. Stoic wisdom tells us control what you can. Be still amidst the noise, and never chase validation. When you stop reacting to what she says, and start responding to what she shows, everything shifts, and for the first time, you'll see her clearly, not as the puzzle to be solved, but as the mirror reflecting who you truly are. Number 1. Watch her actions, not her words. Watch her feet, not her lips. That's the first law, etched deep in old Stoic wisdom and passed down by every iron mind that refused to be fooled by sweet talk. Listen closely her feelings. They smoke. Fleeting, mutable, her actions. That's the fire, that's the signal, that's the truth. Don't get hypnotized by I love you, or you're different, or I'd never hurt you. Beautiful lies come dressed in perfume and candlelight. But if her behavior doesn't line up, none of that noise matters. Don't be that man who clings to her words while ignoring her choices. That's not love. That's self-abandonment. That's fantasy. You must stop making excuses for her emotional chaos. You must stop justifying her disappearances, her disrespect, her hot and cold games. If she says she wants loyalty but keeps texting her ex, that's not a red flag. It's a full parade. If she claims you're her rock, yet constantly throws storms your way, don't flatter yourself. She's testing, not trusting. She's pushing to see what you'll tolerate. And if you accept that inconsistency, that flakiness, that drama, she won't thank you. She'll lose respect for you. That's what happens when you betray your own frame to accommodate hers. You don't need to confront her. You don't need to scream, beg, or decode cryptic messages. This isn't high school. This is a Stoic principle in action. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Be the man who watches with calm eyes. Be the man who sees her real intentions, not the script she's reading. The iron mind doesn't chase clarity. It observes, it understands, it decides. Here's your new code. If her actions align with respect, trust, and effort, you stay. If they don't, you leave. Simple. You don't demand explanations. You don't play detective. You protect your frame. You preserve your sanity. And most importantly, you preserve your power. Because guess what? A woman can sense a man who trusts himself. A man who doesn't flinch in the face of confusion. A man who doesn't crumble when emotions get loud. That man, he becomes the storm's anchor. He becomes unshakable. Now don't get this twisted. This isn't about being cold. This isn't about revenge or games. This is about alignment. If her words are sugar but her choices are poison, walk away with grace. That's Stoic wisdom. That's masculine strength. That's how you stop being played and start being respected. And she will feel it. Maybe not immediately. Maybe not out loud, but deep in her instincts. She'll know this man doesn't tolerate illusions. He sees, he acts, he walks. So the next time you're tempted to argue, to ask, to explain, don't Just ask yourself one thing. What is she actually doing? Is she consistent? Is she present? Is she real? If not, don't chase, don't fix, don't fight. Just fade. Let her actions speak, and let your silence carry the final word, because your time, your peace, your mind, they matter. Her feelings, they change with the wind, but your standard that stays carved in iron. That's the difference between a man who bends and a man who leads. Old Stoic wisdom doesn't just whisper, it commands watch, measure, choose, and above all, do not let anyone's confusion rewrite your clarity. That's how you earn peace. That's how you earn yourself. And that, brother, is how you earn her deepest, unspoken respect. Number 2, her desires live in behavior, not emotion. Don't let the music of her feelings drown out the truth of her actions. Listen, this is where most men fall flat on their faces. A woman tells you what she's feeling, and you take it as gospel. You take her words, raw, passionate, sincere in the moment, and build your entire understanding of the relationship on them. But here's the hard pill. My friend, what she feels and what she wants are often two different beasts. And if you keep chasing her emotions like they're the North Star, you're going to keep walking in circles. Women are emotional creatures, yes, but that's not an insult. That's nature. Their emotional state is like weather in Texas, beautiful in the morning, thunderstorm by lunch, tornado by dinner. It changes with the music, the mood, a comment from a friend, or a weird dream from the night before. You can't build a foundation on that. You can't bet your peace, your purpose, your future on something that shifts every time the wind blows. That's not a strategy. That's madness. Now behavior. That's where the treasure is buried. That's where the compass points north. Practical Stoicism tells us that true understanding comes not from words, but patterns. A woman might say she wants a nice guy, a gentle listener, sensitive, the type who tiptoes through her feelings like he's walking on eggshells. But who's she texting when the lights go out and the wine kicks in? It's not Mr. Sensitive. It's the man on a mission, the one who doesn't bend every time she pouts, the one who values his peace more than her approval. That guy, he's magnetic. You must understand women aren't turned on by what they emotionally appreciate. They're drawn to what activates their instinct. That instinct responds to masculinity, boundaries, and calm strength. Not begging, not constant reassurance, not the guy who flinches every time she changes tone. This is Stoic rules. 101 emotions are to be observed, not obeyed. Not just yours, hers too. When you stop dancing to every emotional beat she plays, you reclaim something vital, your center, your clarity, your power. Let's get sharper. She cries and says she misses you. Okay. Has she shown up differently? Has she changed her choices? Or is she using your sympathy as a pressure valve just to feel better in the moment? That's not evil. That's not manipulation. That's survival. Emotion is her theatre. Behavior is her truth. So, watch. When she's hurt, does she run or reach for you? When she's happy, does she share it with you? Or keep it solo? When she's planning her life, do you have a seat at the table? Or are you an afterthought? Stop reacting to the noise and start reading the rhythm of her behavior. That's the true signal. And don't just observe when things are smooth. Anyone can be sweet during sunsets and cocktails. Watch her when she's mad, when you say no, when you hold a boundary. That's when the mask drops. That's when her core desires show. That's when you find out if she respects your frame or just plays along when it's easy. Remember this, butterflies are free. Investment is costly. If she's not investing time, effort, and presence, her poetic words don't mean a damn thing. That's practical stoicism in action. You don't build your life on her feelings. You build it on evidence. Her behavior is her currency. Her emotion is just the soundtrack. So, be the man who sees the pattern. Be the man who doesn't chase, doesn't argue, doesn't beg for clarity. Just watch. Just measure. Just respond. That's the man she remembers. That's the man she can't shake. Not because he played her emotional games, but because he never stepped into the ring. If this hits home, if you've been confused, manipulated, lost in a storm of mixed signals, then anchor this truth deep inside you. I read her behaviour, not her mood, not her tears, not her late-night confessions. Her behaviour, that's her truth. And Stoic rules demand nothing less. If this message hit home, if you're done falling for emotional theatre and ready to see the truth behind her actions, then do something powerful for yourself right now. Like the video, subscribe for more grounded insight rooted in Stoic rules and practical Stoicism, and share this with a brother who needs to hear it. Let's build a generation of clear-eyed men who stop reacting and start leading. Comment to remember. I read her behaviour. Lock it in. Own it. Let the world know you've chosen wisdom over confusion and calm over chaos. Number 3. When she says nice guy, she means boring. Let's get one thing clear when a woman says, "You're such a nice guy," and you're not the man she's drawn to, sleeping with, or even seriously pursuing. That's not a compliment. It's a consolation prize. It means you're forgettable, safe, sweet, predictable. You don't ignite her, you don't challenge her, and you definitely don't stir her soul. You're playing in the comfort zone while the real game happens at the edge. Because nice isn't attractive, it's neutral. It doesn't provoke, it doesn't polarize. And attraction is about polarity. It's about spark. It's about power. You must understand this if you want to walk the paths of wisdom. As Epictetus warned, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. That's the call to shed your fear of rejection and trade in your validation-seeking ways for the fire of self-respect. You must stop trying to be agreeable and start being undeniable. The nice guy listens too much. He agrees too often. He tiptoes through conversations, hypersensitive to a woman's emotions, afraid to step out of line. That's not masculinity, that's meekness. And women don't crave meekness. They crave tension. They crave grounded unpredictability. They crave the kind of presence that says, I lead, I decide, I know who I am. That's what Stoicism wins means. Calm power, not passivity, not compliance. The nice guy thinks being calm means being soft. He thinks avoiding offence earns him affection. But he doesn't get it. Because she's not looking for her therapist. She's looking for her man. A man who owns his truth. A man who doesn't need her approval. A man who listens but doesn't bend. A man who's kind but never kneels. A man who's centred but never passive. That's the masculine edge. That's the spark. That's what flips the script. Don't be the guy she keeps around for comfort while chasing excitement elsewhere. Don't be the one she texts when she's lonely, only to return to the man who makes her feel alive. You must wake up. You must kill the nice guy inside you. You must rewire your identity. Start saying no. Start setting boundaries. Start choosing your own mission over her emotions. That's the essence of Stoicism. Control yourself, not others. Control your energy, not her validation. Let your decisions reflect strength, not fear. The moment she senses you can walk away, the moment she realizes you don't need her, that's the moment she begins to desire you. Not because you manipulated her, but because you reclaimed yourself. In modern life, too many men have been tamed into submission by the lie that being good is enough. But good without edge is invisible. Be the storm beneath the stillness. Be the calm fire, the silent strength. As Marcus Aurelius said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. That's the path of wisdom. That's the path you must walk. Break free of the nice guy lie. Win with your presence. Win with your backbone. Win with your truth. This is how Stoicism wins in love and in life. Don't apologize for your standards. Don't ask permission to lead. Become the man who moves through life on purpose, and watch how women move toward you with passion. That's not a game. That's greatness. Number 4. Emotion is her language, not her logic. Let's not get it twisted. Gentlemen, when a woman speaks from her heart, she's not running a courtroom, she's not asking you to cross-examine her feelings or hit her with bullet points from your invisible spreadsheet. She's not trying to win an argument. She's trying to be felt. Her words are music, not math. Her sentences aren't blueprints and they're brushstrokes. And if you show up with a ruler instead of presence, you're already out of tune. This is where most men stumble face first into confusion. She says, "You don't care about me." And your brain goes into defense mode like a rookie cop on his first night shift. That's not true. I took you to dinner. I called you back. I watched that movie you love with the guy who cries a lot. But here's the trap: you're answering her feelings with logic. That's not stoic. That's just tone deaf. Here's the truth. No one taught you in school. Emotion is her first language. It's not irrational. It's not dramatic. It's just different from yours. So when you respond to a feeling with facts, you're essentially speaking Chinese to someone who's listening in Italian. You must understand. Her words are often symbolic, not strategic. You don't care rarely means literally you don't care. It usually means, I feel disconnected from you. I'm not sure you see me right now. I'm craving your depth. That's the real message under the noise. And if you miss it, you fail the test. Because that's what her emotional storms are. A test, not an attack. She's asking, can you hold the full force of me? Or do I have to shrink so you can stay comfortable? And let me be blunt. Too many men fold like lawn chairs under that pressure. One argues, the other retreats. Both lose. One tries to fix her. The other ghosts her soul. Neither is what she needs. What she's looking for is the iron mind man, the one rooted in Stoic principles, not reactive panic. The man who doesn't scramble to solve or silence her, but who anchors himself and listens like a mountain listens to the wind. Still. Grounded. Alive. This is where old Stoic wisdom earns its stripes. Stoicism was never about being emotionally numb. It's about not letting chaos unseat your center. Don't absorb. Don't attack. Observe. Hold the space. Let her waves crash without losing your footing. When she feels seen without being fixed, her storm settles. Not because you changed her, but because you didn't flinch. That's emotional leadership. That's masculine calm. That's the paradox women crave, but can't always articulate. She wants a man who can hear the music in her chaos. And still stay seated at the table. But don't mistake patience for passivity. This doesn't mean you become her emotional punching bag. If her storm turns into manipulation or crosses into disrespect, you walk. Not out of anger, out of self-respect. Calm, decisive. Because you're not here to babysit volatility. You're here to witness, not absorb. There's a line, and when you hold it with dignity, that earns real respect. But most of the time it's not manipulation. It's simply miscommunication. You've just never been taught her language. Now you know better. A woman speaks in rhythm. Her words pulse, rise, crash like ocean waves. You don't meet that with a brick wall. You meet it with curiosity, with masculine presence, with the clarity of an iron mind sharpened by Stoic principles. You don't try to decode her like a logic puzzle. You see her. You don't get pulled. You witness. And that subtle shift that's power. That's the influence. That's trust. She's not magnetized by men who win arguments. She's drawn to men who can sit in the fire and not get singed. So the next time she comes in hot, don't flinch. Don't debate. Don't disappear. Just anchor. Ask. Listen. Feel what's underneath the surface. And if you've ever tried to fix her heart with a spreadsheet, let this be the day you stop. You're not her savior. You're her witness. You're her rock. Say it now. And say it like you mean it. I listen without losing me. That's old Stoic wisdom. That's the path of the iron mind. And that, my friend, is how you lead, without ever raising your voice. Number 5. She'll test you, not tell you. Let's lay it down straight. Women don't hand you a syllabus. They hand you fire. If you're waiting for clear instructions, like it's a tech manual, you're in the wrong universe. She won't come to you with a calm PowerPoint presentation saying, I need more masculine leadership here. Please. Nope. What she will do is throw emotional curveballs and stand back to see how you handle the heat. She'll test your center, not out of cruelty, but instinct. That's right. Feminine energy doesn't ask you to rise. It dares you to. She might cancel plans out of nowhere. She might get snappy over a minor thing. She might even name-drop another guy just to see if you flinch. Don't take it at face value. These aren't tantrums. These are pressure checks. She's asking, without asking, "Are you grounded? Can I lean on you when I lose my own footing?" She's not watching your answers. She's watching your energy. And that, gentlemen, is where practical stoicism kicks in like a steel boot through a paper door. The average guy, he fumbles, he over-explains, he pleads, he apologizes for things he didn't even do wrong. He loses frame so fast it's dizzying. And the more he tries to fix her storm with logic, the more she emotionally backs away. She doesn't want a fixer. She wants a man who can hold steady while the room spins. When you chase her approval, she sees fear, not strength, neediness, not leadership. And that's a one-way ticket to emotional disqualification. But the man who lives by Stoic rules sees it differently. He knows every test is a door, not a dead end, a challenge, not an attack. He doesn't take it personally because he understands one core truth. Her storm isn't to hurt you, it's to see you. She's thinking, can I trust this man to be stronger than me when I lose control? If your response is to crumble, argue, or emotionally spiral, well, she's got her answer. And it's not the one you want. So what do you do instead? You breathe. You anchor. You observe. You stay still. Even when the wind rises, you acknowledge her emotion. But don't become its hostage. You don't need to match her chaos with chaos. You don't need to outtalk her. Sometimes, the most commanding thing you can say is nothing. Just a calm gaze, a steady body, an unshaken soul. That's masculine energy. That's practical stoicism in real time. You must become the man who can hold space for her storm without trying to fix it. When you stay rooted, when you don't flinch, when you don't chase or collapse, that's when respect floods in. That's when attraction lights up like wildfire. That's when safety settles into her bones, even if she doesn't consciously know why. Now listen closely. The stronger you get, the more she'll test. Not because she doubts you, but because she hopes you're real. She wants to believe your strength isn't a costume. She wants to feel the weight of a man who won't break when she pushes, because if she's going to trust you with her vulnerability, she needs to know your foundation can hold. That's the paradox. She's not trying to destroy your masculinity. She's trying to see if it's real enough to withstand her storm. So if you're still stuck in the loop of, why doesn't she just say what she means? Snap out of it. You're listening with your ears, not your eyes. You're expecting logic from a language built in intuition. Stop waiting for a script. Start tuning into the unspoken. Remember this. Tests don't tear you down. They reveal you. They don't break a real man. They build him. Every emotional curveball she throws is an invitation. Not to react, but to rise. To be better, bolder, stronger. That's how Stoic rules shape high-value men. Not by removing emotion, but by refusing to be ruled by it. So don't crumble, don't chase, don't apologize for standing tall. The next time you feel that test coming, don't brace. Welcome it. And if you've ever lost ground trying to explain yourself, over-justify, or win her back by begging, let that go now. Say it, and make it stick. I passed the test. That's how a man walks. That's how a man leads. That's practical stoicism in action. If this opened your eyes, like the video, drop a comment, and share it with a brother who needs to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights rooted in Stoic rules and practical stoicism. Comment to remember, I don't flinch. I passed the test. Repeat it. Type it below. Let it anchor your frame. Let her test reveal your strength, not your fear. Number 6. If you ask what she wants, you've already lost. Let that truth sink in. You've been lied to since boyhood, conditioned, softened. Just ask her what she wants. Be sensitive. Communicate. They told you that's what maturity looks like. They were wrong. That's not strength. That's submission dressed up as virtue. A man doesn't ask how to be a man. He shows it. Her feelings don't lead the way. Your direction does. The man leads. The woman responds, "That's not my opinion. That's ancient truth, anchored deep in the paths of wisdom. That's Stoicism. That's Epictetus. That's how men win." Listen carefully when you ask, "What do you want me to do?" You are not being kind. You are not being mature. You are showing that you don't know what to do. You're broadcasting doubt, and doubt kills desire. She doesn't feel loved when you hand her the wheel. She feels burdened. She's not looking for another problem to solve. She wants to feel the pull of your certainty, the steadiness of your command. That's the masculine. That's presence. That's power. Be that force. Lead, decide, move. Let's get real. You think you're being nice when you ask her what she wants to do. You think you're honouring her by being agreeable. But what you're really doing is putting the burden of leadership on her shoulders. She doesn't want it. She wants to feel your direction like a current in a river. Be ready at 7. Wear something black. We're going somewhere special. That's not controlling. That's commanding. That's the dance of polarity. That's what makes her melt. That's what tells her I've got this. Even when she pushes back, especially when she pushes back, she's just testing your direction. Will you crumble, or will you hold the frame? Stop outsourcing your leadership. Stop begging for approval. Stop tiptoeing around her emotions like they're landmines. That's not a partnership. That's not love. That's employment. You're not her emotional assistant. You're her man. She doesn't want to lead you. She wants to lean into you. Give her that. Own the moment. Own the energy. That's how you create polarity. That's how you win. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Let that guide you like fire in your blood." This isn't about ignoring her. This isn't about being cold. It's about being centered, calm, certain, strong. That's what Stoicism is. That's what Epictetus taught. Emotions don't lead. Values do. Purpose does. Vision does. She doesn't want your endless concern. She wants your anchored presence. That's the way. That's the path of wisdom. Don't ask what she wants. Show her what you want, and let her respond. That's how a man moves. That's how a man commands. That's how a man lives. You don't need her permission to lead. You must lead, boldly, firmly, unapologetically. Be the gravity she can orbit. Be the rock she tests herself against. And if your instinct is to soften, to seek her feelings, to get constant feedback, fight it. That's not the way forward. That's the way to collapse. Don't collapse. Stand, lead, win. Every time you hesitate, you leak energy. Every time you wait for her to decide, you lose ground. Don't surrender the frame. Don't surrender your mission. Rise into it. Master yourself. Master life. The world needs stronger men. Your relationship needs stronger leadership. Let this be your turning point. Let this be the day you stop waiting. Let this be the day you embody the words "I lead with intention." That's how you win. That's how you live the path of wisdom. That's how you become the man she trusts, desires, and respects. Don't ask. Lead. Don't beg. Decide. Don't chase. Command. That's the code. That's the power. That's the way. Number 7. She craves your strength, not your sensitivity. Let's be brutally clear, she doesn't want your sensitivity. Not the kind you've been told to show. Not the tears on command, emotionally raw. Just being vulnerable version that modern dating gurus try to sell you. That's not old Stoic wisdom. That's emotional chaos dressed up as connection. And if you don't understand this, you'll spend your life chasing a ghost, trying to be the man she says she wants, instead of the one she feels in her bones. Here's the quiet, dangerous truth no one dares to say out loud. Her words and her instincts are not always aligned. You can cry on cue, journal your feelings, whisper sweet fears into her ear, but if you do it wrong, you kill the polarity stone dead. You become the child, not the man, the one she comforts, not the one she trusts. Be the rock, be the lighthouse, be the man who walks into the storm with calm, not the one who narrates every drop of rain on his skin. She craves strength, not just biceps and bravado, but internal steel, iron mind, Stoic principles. The kind of presence that says, I see the chaos, but I'm not owned by it. That's what her body responds to. That's what makes her feel safe, drawn, ignited. She doesn't want you dumping your every emotional impulse in her lap. She doesn't want you venting to her like a best friend with no boundaries. She wants to feel your depth, not drown in your mess. And yes, she might say, I want you to open up more, but be smart. Read between the lines. What she really wants is to know you feel, without making her feel responsible for those feelings. Let's break this down with some iron truth. A man with stoic discipline doesn't deny his emotions. He respects them. He feels them fully, but contains them like a dam contains a river. That containment is power. That's the old Stoic wisdom at work. You don't perform your pain for approval. You process it in private. You master it in silence. You lean on your tribe, your brotherhood, your mission, not on her. Because if you start asking her to carry your wounds, she stops seeing you as the man who can carry hers. When she sees you break too often, something primal inside her rewires. Her polarity flips. She becomes the protector, the emotional stabilizer, the masculine force. And you become the weight she didn't ask to lift. Attraction dies quietly in those moments, not because she doesn't care, but because you made her the container instead of the flame. So what's the right move when life hits hard? Don't say I'm lost. Fix me. Say I'm navigating some heavy stuff. I've got a plan, just keeping you in the loop. Same truth, different posture. One drains her, the other grounds her. That's Stoic principles in motion. That's the iron mind doing its work in real time. She doesn't need your meltdown. She needs your frame. And no, this doesn't mean being cold or robotic. It means to be anchored, be alive, not armored. Feel deeply, but lead with calm. Speak with clarity. Stand with weight. Walk with gravity. Masculine gravity. That's what makes her body exhale. That's what allows her to relax into her own feminine essence. Remember, real strength doesn't collapse. It calibrates. It doesn't suppress. It contains. It doesn't ask for sympathy. It radiates trust. And if you ever feel that your openness kills attraction, don't blame her. Refine your frame. Lead with calm. Practice old Stoic wisdom like your life depends on it, because your relationship might. And the next time she says, talk to me, don't confuse that for bleed on me. Instead, show her strength. Let her feel your storm and watch you hold it steady. You must become the man who can walk through fire and still smell like peace. That is power. That is masculine leadership. That is the kind of man she'll follow, not just in romance, but in life. And if you find today's content very interesting, please give me a word of encouragement by commenting "very interesting" in the comments section. That is a huge motivation for us. Thank you. Number 8. When you stop chasing, she starts choosing. Let's put this to bed once and for all. Chasing is not pursuit. It's panic in disguise. It's a silent admission that you've placed her on a pedestal and yourself beneath it. And guess what? Women feel that imbalance. Not in their minds, in their bones. Chasing screams, my worth depends on your approval, and that kills attraction faster than socks with sandals. This isn't about playing games. It's about playing your position. Pursuit is fine when it's mutual, but chasing, that's running after someone who isn't walking towards you. That's a performance, not a partnership. And the moment she senses you're leaning too far forward, her instinct kicks in, not to return the energy, but to control the dynamic. You become the one being tested, not treasured. Now here's where the paradox reveals itself, and it's golden when you stop chasing. She starts choosing. Why? Because you're finally giving her the room to decide, without pressure, without manipulation, without that low-key whiff of desperation. When a man steps back, not as a trick, but as a reflection of self-worth, he's not signaling disinterest. He's communicating value. He's living by Stoic rules, not high school emotions. And that space you create, that's not rejection. It's gravity. It's tension. It's intrigue. It's the kind of silence that makes her lean in instead of tune out. She starts wondering, Why isn't he texting first? Why isn't he trying harder? Who's catching his eye if I'm not? And suddenly, you become the mystery. You're no longer orbiting her world like a lost moon. You've reclaimed your axis. And make no mistake, that changes everything. This is practical stoicism in action. You don't pull back because you're playing coy. You pull back because your time is currency, your attention is premium, your presence is not up for bargain. A stoic man doesn't chase because he doesn't need to. He doesn't base his masculinity on how fast a woman replies. He's anchored, focused, and self-directed. That's the iron posture. That's what makes him rare. That's what gets her attention. Not the volume of your texts, but the volume of your presence. When a woman sees you not falling over yourself to impress her, that's when her selection instincts wake up. She starts evaluating, wondering, reaching. That's biology. Women are wired to choose, not chase. The more you chase, the more you switch roles, and the less she can feel the polarity that attraction needs. So be sharp, be firm, be willing to step back and mean it. When you stay, let it be by choice, not need. If she steps forward, you've got real interest. If she doesn't, you just saved yourself months or years of lopsided energy. Distance doesn't equal failure. It reveals the truth. And that, gentlemen, is the gift of detachment. This isn't about withholding love. It's about withholding neediness. This isn't coldness. It's clarity. You're not punishing her with silence. You're honoring yourself with space. That's strength. That's composure. That's practical stoicism at work. So if you've ever felt like you were giving everything and getting crumbs in return, now's the time. Stop. Take a breath. Pull back. Let the silence speak. Let the gap breathe. Let her feel the contrast between a man who chases and a man who chooses. And if that message hits home, lock it in. Say it. Mean it. Live it. I don't chase. I choose. That's not a slogan. That's stoic power in motion. Number 9. Control the frame. Control the game. A man who doesn't control the frame doesn't control his life. Period. The frame is the emotional structure, the lens, the rules. If you don't set it, she will. And when she does, you're no longer leading, you're reacting. Her moods dictate yours. Her chaos becomes your compass. That's a weakness. That's confusing. That's not the path of wisdom. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Let that sink in. The frame isn't about dominating her. It's about mastering you. She doesn't want to steer the ship. She wants to feel your calm in the storm, not your control, your grounded presence, not your noise, your stillness. A man with a strong frame radiates boundaries, clarity, and calm purpose. He doesn't chase emotions. He commands respect without needing to raise his voice. That's stoicism. That's power. That's how men win. Don't get played. Don't chase her lead. Stop reacting. Start leading. I lead the frame. Say it again. I lead the frame. That's your code. That's your strength. Walk the path of stoicism. Walk the path of Epictetus. Walk the path of men who win. Own the frame. Control the game. Number 10. Respect is the real aphrodisiac. Forget the flowers. Forget the sweet nothings whispered into the void. She doesn't want your desperate praise, your over-eager grin, or your performative politeness. You know what turns a woman on, not flattery, not romantic bribes. It's respect. And not just the respect you toss her way like confetti when you're trying to get lucky. No, it's the respect you command by how you carry yourself, the kind of self-honor that doesn't beg, doesn't bend, and doesn't break. Women don't chase the man who's always chasing them. They crave the man who's chasing nothing, because he's already built everything inside. Old Stoic wisdom isn't about pretending not to care. It's about actually not needing to. Not because you're cold, but because you're whole. You're rooted. You're not there to audition for love like it's American Idol. You're the man who walks into the room and makes silence feel strong. You speak less, but what you say has weight. You do less, but everything you do matters. You say no and mean it. You hold your ground without apology. You are not here to seek approval. You are here to embody it. So here's the truth most men don't want to hear. If you've been chasing attention like it's the gateway to love, stop now. Kill that habit. Burn it. Replace it with something eternal. Character. Replace neediness with clarity. Replace charm with presence. Let your silence do what compliments can't. Let your walk speak. Let your values roar. Let your discipline, your iron mind, remind the world that Stoic principles are not dead. They're rare. Rare is magnetic. Rare is power. And power doesn't beg. So if you feel something stirring right now, don't ignore it. Don't just nod and move on. Lock it in. Say it out loud. Feel it in your gut. And wear it like armor from this moment forward. I choose respect over approval, and mean it like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. That wraps it up for today's video. If you made it this far, you're not just watching, you're evolving. And that matters. Look, this isn't about playing games with women or trying to figure them out like some puzzle. It's about mastering yourself, becoming unshakable, owning your thoughts, your emotions, and your presence, so that no matter who comes or goes, you remain centered. Here's my honest advice. Stop chasing approval. Stop waiting to be understood. When you lead yourself with strength and clarity, the world, and yes, even women, respond to that. So don't just absorb this. Live it. Don't just react. Embody it. Don't just chase truth. Become it. Thanks for being here, brother. Stay solid, stay grounded, and I'll see you in the next one.